Good day, y'all, and thank you for coming back for another episode of A Foolish Journey. I know it's been a little minute. I took a little trip, and now I'm back, and had to get my life back together after that trip. So I just wanted to come on and um, talk to you guys for a little while, and today. Oh, like, share, subscribe. um, but today I want to talk a little bit about, it's going to be a short video, short, sweet, to the point. I'm a little tired, so um, I'm just going to get it out today. No lingering. But I want to talk today a little bit about trauma versus reality. And like, I don't think, for me, I didn't always realize like what my traumas were. Um, certain not everything we go through we view as a trauma, or something so devastating that it leaves a mark and it creates maybe a character trait that we then start to embody, as a way to like not go through that again. But we just may not see it as a trauma. Like, I got through it, I'm good, it's no issue. But different situations will show you, um, if you're really able to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Different situations can definitely show you how you can show up in a situation with your trauma versus what the reality of the situation actually is. And that is why it is extremely important to do the introspective work, to really look at things that trigger you, things that, um, hurt you, things that you hold on to, things that you might feel contentment or resentment for. Um, it never hurts to really be able to take a look at those things and take a look at the different situations that you've been in and really be able to analyze or see, like, damn, did I show up in the reality of what that situation really was in that moment, or did I show up with the trauma that I experienced from the past that resembled this same moment, in some way, shape, form, or fashion? And when you're able to take that step back and really look at um, showing up in trauma versus showing up in the reality of a situation, then you can kind of teach yourself how to really show up better the next time, how to show up differently the next time, how to take that step back in the moment instead of letting the trauma of, like, the feeling that of whatever happened back there dictate how you're going to show up in this moment with this person. Because what's happening here in this moment with this person is definitely not exactly what happened back there with that moment and that person. So, when we think about how we react to a situation, and I kind of look at it like trauma is reacting. Like, we react from a place of trauma. Um, hurt, pain, you react from those places, but you can respond from a place of looking at the reality of the situation, like being able to be in the present of like what's happening, and being able to like take that step back in that moment and really show up in the manner of what this situation and this point in time is requiring for you to show up as, if that makes sense. I don't know, the way, the way it's coming to me is how I'm giving it to you. So if it makes sense, great. um all the more better. But things happen to us throughout our lives, and it shapes us in a way to where sometimes everything that we encounter um, can feel like a slight against us. It can feel like you got to put your defenses up, with any and everybody, and you can't really ever let your guard down. But the reality of the situation is that you actually can, that you actually can let your guard down. You can be open and be vulnerable without having to feel defensive. But that also comes with you really being secure and confident in who you are, and knowing that no matter what the situation at hand is, you have the power to really like control how you show up. Like, that's always going to be your choice. You can choose to show up to a situation from a place of trauma. It's probably not going to turn out well. A lot of times it doesn't. Or you can choose to show up in the reality of a situation and really look at it for what's happening in this space. Um, you know, the best example that I could probably give for myself that, makes sense for showing up in a situation out of trauma versus, showing up in a situation in the reality of what the situation was. I would say when I don't even know how to phrase like what happened back there, but when I agreed to get married, um, I showed up in that situation from a place of trauma. Like a lot of things I hadn't healed, I hadn't even looked at. Um, a lot of things I hadn't dealt with within myself. So when I agreed to get married, when I said yes to getting married, um, I honestly wasn't in a place to even be considering it at that time. But trying to show up for someone in a moment of their pain, and like, I don't want to say like, I never tried to like heal the pain that he had, right? But I thought that because I love the way I do, that I could love him through that pain. I could get him to the other side of that. And so I jumped in with both feet. Red flags off the wazoo charts. Intuition, like pounding at my gut to like not do it. To take a step back and like breathe for a second. And it was almost like with every nudge that I got to stop, to look, to think, to reevaluate, every nudge made me go that much harder and lean that much more into that situation. But it was unhealthy for me because I was unhealthy for me more than anything. And the reality of the situation was that I had work to do on myself before I could even think of trying to love someone else through, their pain and their struggle that they were dealing with. I had work to do, work that I was avoiding doing. And I it, the reality the reality is I should have listened to my intuition. I should have trusted myself when, everything was screaming to me like, don't do it. I should have really I should have really took the time to like hear. And and I'm not saying like it's always bad to jump in, both feet into a situation, because you know you live and you learn. Some things you just got to experience in order to know that's not what you want, right? Or that's not how you want to move, or that's not, the way that you want to do things. And I thought that I learned that lesson once, I left that situation. Um, I thought that I had learned the lesson of, you know, well, I don't want to show up like, I'll never do that again. I'll never jump in 2 feet first or head first and not know really what I'm getting into and not ask questions. And then I turned around and did it again very shortly thereafter. And I think that was the moment that God really was like, all right, let me take off this sandal. Let me slap you up a bit and knock some sense into you, because you are not living in the reality of like what is going on around you, and how you need to like fix whatever is happening within you, while you keep wanting to, why you can't do your due diligence before you run into these situations head first. Like, and it sat me down. Like after that, it sat me all the way down. And when I say all the way, like I'm still sitting. Um, and that was a couple of years ago now, and I'm still sitting, which lets you know, like this journey that I'm on, it's not like a 1-2 step. I ain't Sierra in it, through we ain't 1-2 stepping through this journey at all. This is a marathon. Um, and it's a long one. And I didn't think that it would be so much to unpack and so much to really, you know, like sift through. I didn't think it would be that much, because I thought, I'm good at, a lot of things. I'm good. I'm good. I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Another day, another dollar. Shit is cool. Um, but then, you show up in different situations and you're showing up with your defenses, you're showing up with your guards, you're showing up with your trauma. You're not really showing up in the manner in which you can really get the full experience out of it, because at least I wasn't, because I didn't know what that looked like for a long time. And so I guess the main message, the main message is to just to know and understand how important it is to do the work. Like, really do the work. Because when you can show up in the reality of a situation and not have the wool or the veil over your eyes, no rose colored glasses, none of that. When you can really understand how to see people for who they are, see you for who you are, and deal with people according to, like, I don't even want to say deal with people. Is like more, I would definitely say it would be more like I see where you are, right? I don't have to meet you where you are. I see where you are. I don't have to meet you where you are, but I can still love you from afar. When that's a boundary that you can set for yourself and other people around, like the people that you have around you, then you start to show up in the reality of the situation a lot more. You start to see the reality of the situation. You start to see who aligns with you and who does not, and what belongs in your life and what does not. And then you can start making those changes. Remember last video, embracing change? You can then start making those changes to make sure that what you're inviting in is going to feed your soul. It's going to make you feel good. It's going to it's going to vibe with you on the same level. Yeah, the same vibration you on is that it's going to be on. It's going to keep you in that same high energy. Anything that drains your energy, it got to go. It got to go. And some things you have to maybe maneuver to let go of, and make sure you got something else lined up before you let go. And I don't mean, and that is not for relationships, because you should never line up another person before you let go of a person. It should always be the opposite. You know what I'm saying? And you should always take that time after each encounter that you have, in a relationship, to really look at what happened there, how you contributed to what happened there, how, like, take your accountability in it, and then whatever is not yours, it's not, it doesn't, you don't have to blame the other person. Whatever is not yours to take accountability for, leave that shit right there. Right? Because then you know how you need to handle yourself moving forward. That is really like how you let go of the trauma of a situation in order to show up in the reality of the next. So that just was a message that I wanted to give, which will, tie into the next one um, in a lot of ways. But for now, I do want to thank you for coming back again to continue to support the channel, to continue to support my journey, to continue to hear the message. And again, if it resonates with you, if you get anything out of it, I love it. If it doesn't, like the video. If you don't want to, however, keep it pushing. Not everything is for everybody. So, you know, this is my journey that I am putting out there again for everyone to join me on. So, I appreciate everyone who is still here, still watching, who will continue to be here and continue to watch. And I'm grateful for this opportunity to do this, to help whoever this may help, to have, anyone, again, anyone who reaches out to me or leaves comments, that could help me, then I'm grateful for all of it. So, you know, thanks again for tuning in rather for another episode of A Fool's Journey. I love you guys, and mwah, good night.